All right, so you want to look into the future of digital marketing, huh? Maybe prep for that big meeting or just, curious about what's coming? Well, lucky for you, we found this video outlining the top trends predicted for 2025. And it's pretty fascinating stuff. Ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so right off the bat, this video hits us with a stat that kind of blew my mind. 46 billion daily searches across all sorts of platforms. 46 billion with a B. But get this, Google only accounts for 18% of those searches.
Wow.
I know, right? It
Uh,
really makes you think, where is everyone else searching?
It is a big shift, for sure. What we're seeing is this move towards search everywhere optimization, as they call it. People are searching on Amazon, Instagram, even Spotify. They're not just on Google anymore.
So businesses can't just focus on Google SEO anymore.
Right.
They need to think about how people are searching on all these different platforms.
Exactly. It's a much broader approach now. Let's say you're a business selling handmade jewelry. Sure, you'll optimize your website for Google, but you also got to consider how people search on Etsy, Pinterest, Instagram. The keywords, the visuals, everything might need to change for each platform.
Makes sense. You got to show up strategically, not just everywhere. So is Google still relevant then?
Oh, absolutely. Google's not going anywhere. But businesses can't just rely on it solely anymore. Got to diversify that SEO strategy and think about the customer journey across different platforms.
Speaking of reaching the right audience, this video talks about the rise of micro-influencers, which I found kind of surprising. You know those mega influencers with millions of followers? They're actually seeing a decline in ROI.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what's going on there?
Well, it might seem counterintuitive, but those smaller influencers, the ones with under 100,000 followers, they often have a much stronger connection with their audience. They come across as more authentic, relatable.
Like getting a recommendation from a friend instead of some celebrity, right?
Exactly. People trust them more because they're not being paid a fortune to endorse a product.
But wouldn't working with a bunch of smaller influencers be way more work for a brand?
It can be, but it allows for a more targeted approach. Instead of trying to reach everyone with one big influencer, brands can partner with multiple smaller ones, each connecting with a specific niche.
So like a beauty brand could work with a skincare influencer, a makeup influencer, and a hair care influencer, all targeting different parts of their market.
Exactly. You find the right influencers who genuinely align with your brand and have a dedicated following that trusts them.
Smart. Okay, let's talk content now. The video says there's a shift happening away from traditional formats like video and text. It mentions things like webinars, podcasts, and even case studies being more popular. You think those formats really resonate more with people these days?
I think so, yeah. People are craving more depth, more engagement. They're tired of just passively consuming content. They want to participate, learn something new, connect with experts.
So it's less about entertainment, more about providing real value and building relationships.
Exactly. And as the video points out, these formats can lead to higher engagement and better conversions.
It's like the difference between watching a quick product demo and attending a live Q&A with the developer,
Yeah,
right? You get a much richer experience and feel more confident in your decision.
absolutely. That's what sets these formats apart. They offer that depth and interaction that you don't get with traditional video and text.
This is all really fascinating, but I got to admit, it's a little overwhelming too. How can businesses keep up with all these changes, especially with this next trend, AI?
Oh yeah, AI, artificial intelligence. It's a game changer for sure. But it's important to remember AI is a tool, not a magic solution.
So instead of being scared of AI, businesses should be looking for ways to use it to their advantage.
Exactly. AI can help automate tasks, personalize messages, analyze data to identify trends and opportunities.
Hmm.
Think about it. AI platforms can process huge amounts of data and spot patterns humans might miss.
So instead of relying on gut feeling, businesses can make data-driven decisions backed by evidence.
That's the power of AI. It takes the guesswork out of marketing and lets you focus on what matters most, building those relationships with your customers.
Okay, and finally, this video talks about data analytics. Data is king these days, right?
More than ever. But it's not just about collecting data, it's about understanding what that data tells you about your customers and using it to create more effective marketing.
So businesses need to look beyond vanity metrics like likes and follows and focus on the metrics that actually matter, like website traffic conversion rates, customer lifetime value.
Absolutely. And they need to find ways to get actionable insights from that data. It's not about drowning in numbers. It's about finding those nuggets of wisdom that help you connect with your audience on a deeper level.
Sounds like all these trends are pointing in the same direction towards a more customer-centric approach to marketing.
You got it. The future of digital marketing is all about building genuine relationships with your customers, understanding their needs, and providing value.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive, explored the expanding universe of SEO, the rise of micro-influencers, the shift toward more engaging content formats. And we touched on the growing importance of AI and data analytics. Before we move on, I want to ask you, dear listener, considering all these changes, what stands out to you as the most significant shift in the digital marketing landscape?
It is a lot to take in, isn't it? In part two, we'll dig even deeper into these trends and explore the practical steps businesses can take to adapt and thrive in this ever-evolving digital world.
Stay tuned.
So we're back for part two of our deep dive into the future of digital marketing. I'm sure you've had some time to think about all these changes we talked about.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack, for
Huh.
sure. I'm definitely curious to explore these trends a bit more and see, what they mean for businesses in a practical sense.
So let's start with that search everywhere optimization thing,
Hmm.
right? It sounds like a pretty huge undertaking. Where do businesses even begin with that?
I think step one is really understanding your target audience, right? Where are they spending their time online? What are they doing? What do they like?
Exactly. You don't need to be on every single platform. Just focus on the ones where your audience is most active and engaged. A small business selling organic baby food probably wouldn't focus on TikTok, but a trendy clothing boutique might,
So once you know where they are, you can tailor your content to those specific platforms.
right? Think about the way people search on each platform. Someone searching for healthy recipes on Pinterest might be looking for, visually appealing recipe cards. But someone searching the same thing on Google might be looking for blog posts or articles.
So you might need different types of content for each platform, maybe even a totally different marketing strategy.
Absolutely. You got to adapt to each platform and optimize your content for it.
And that kind of brings us back to micro-influencers. How can businesses actually find and work with these influencers effectively? I mean, it seems like a lot of work to manage all those different partnerships.
It can be, yeah. But there are tools and platforms out there to help. The key is to find influencers who really believe in your brand and have a genuine connection with their followers. It's not just about the number of followers they have.
So you're saying it's better to have a smaller, more engaged following than a massive following with low engagement.
Exactly. Engagement is key. You want influencers who can get people talking and actually drive some action. Think about it. Would you rather have 100 people genuinely excited about your product or 10,000 people who just scroll right past your ad?
I see your point for sure. Quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you actually make sure those influencers are driving results?
Well, you got to be clear about your goals and communicate well with the influencer. Before you even start working together, you need to figure out what you're trying to achieve. Do you want to increase brand awareness, drive traffic to your website, generate leads? What's the goal?
And then you have to track the results to see if the partnership is actually paying off.
Exactly. Data is essential.
Yeah.
You need to be able to measure the impact of those campaigns and make changes as needed.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about this whole content evolution thing. We touched on it earlier, but I'd love to dig a little deeper. Webinars, podcasts, case studies, they all take a lot of time and resources. How can businesses make sure they're creating content that's actually valuable and engaging?
It's all about understanding your audience's needs and pain points. What are they asking about? What are their struggles? What keeps them up at night? Once you know that, you can create content that gives them real solutions and insights.
So it's not just about creating content for the sake of creating content. It's about creating content that actually serves a purpose.
Exactly. And it's about picking the right format for the right message. A webinar might be great for launching a new product or service, but a podcast might be better for sharing industry insights or, thought leadership. Case studies are super powerful for showcasing your successes and building credibility.
So it's about finding the right tool for the job.
Right. And it's about telling stories that people can connect with. People love stories. They remember stories.
True. Even in this digital world, storytelling is still so powerful. Okay, now I got to hear more about AI. It seems like everyone's talking about it, but I'm still not quite sure how it can be used effectively in marketing.
AI has the potential to really revolutionize marketing, but it's still early days. I think the key is to start small and focus on very specific uses. Don't try to do everything at once.
So instead of thinking of AI as this all-powerful solution, businesses should be looking for ways it can improve their existing strategies.
Exactly. For example, if you're struggling with email marketing, there are AI tools that can help personalize your emails and figure out the best time to send them. If you're drowning in social media data, AI can help you analyze it and pull out those golden nuggets of insight.
Wow, it sounds like AI can really take away a lot of the guesswork. But I do worry about it getting too impersonal.
I get that. It's
Yeah.
a valid concern. AI is a tool, remember. It should be used to enhance human connections, not to replace them.
So it's about finding that balance between automation and that personal touch.
Absolutely. The goal is to use AI to create better, more engaging experiences for your customers.
Speaking of engaging experiences, let's talk about data analytics. Seems like every business is collecting data these days, but what are they actually doing with all that data?
That's the million-dollar question. Data is only valuable if you know how to understand it and use it to make decisions. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses have tons of data, but they're struggling to figure out what it
So
means.
it's not enough to just have the data. You also need the right tools and the expertise to analyze it properly.
Exactly. And you got to focus on the right metrics too. Forget about vanity metrics like likes and followers. You need to understand what drives real business results.
Things like website traffic conversion rates, customer lifetime value.
Exactly. Those are the metrics that show you how your marketing is actually performing.
This is all super fascinating, but I'm sure some people listening are feeling a little overwhelmed by all this change.
Mm.
What advice would you give to businesses who are just starting to navigate this new digital world?
Don't be afraid to experiment. Try new things. See what works and what doesn't. This digital world is constantly changing, so you got to be adaptable and always willing to learn new stuff.
And don't try to do everything all at once. Focus on one or two key areas and build from there.
Absolutely.
Good.
And remember, the most important thing is to focus on your customers. Build real relationships. Provide value. Always try to create positive experiences.
That's great advice. In part 3 of our deep dive, we'll explore some of the challenges and things businesses need to consider as they navigate this crazy digital landscape. We'll also talk about how these trends might shape the future of marketing.
So good.
All right, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the future of digital marketing. We've talked about the trends, the challenges, the opportunities. It's clear this digital landscape is changing fast, and businesses need to keep up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with any big shift like this, there are always things to watch out for, things to consider.
Right. It's easy to get excited about all these new technologies and strategies, but we got to be realistic too.
For sure. One of the biggest challenges I see is just how complex the digital ecosystem is getting. So many platforms, channels, tools. It can be overwhelming for businesses to manage it all.
Yeah, it's like trying to juggle a dozen balls at once. Where do you even start?
Prioritize. You can't be everything to everyone. Focus on the platforms and channels that really matter to your target audience and align with your business goals.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. Delegate or outsource tasks if you need to. There are tons of experts out there who can handle specific parts of your digital marketing, like SEO, social media, email marketing.
Good point. It's also super important to stay updated on the latest trends and technologies. The digital world never stops changing, so you got to be willing to adapt and learn new things.
Feels like a constant game of catch-up, but it's exciting too, right? Always something new to discover.
Oh, absolutely. That's what makes digital marketing so dynamic and engaging. But we can't forget, technology is just a tool. It's not a replacement for human creativity, intuition, empathy.
Right. At the end of the day, marketing is about connecting with people on an emotional level.
Exactly. And as we move into the future of digital marketing, that human connection is going to be even more important. We'll see more and more sophisticated AI tools, but there will also be a growing need for authenticity, transparency, genuine human interaction.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Mm,
But one thing's for sure, the future of digital marketing is full of potential.
no doubt. And I'm excited to see what businesses come up with as they navigate this new landscape. All those innovative and creative strategies.
Well, this brings us to the end of our deep dive into the future of digital marketing. We've explored the trends, the challenges, the opportunities. Hopefully you found this journey as insightful and thought-provoking as we have.
It's been great sharing these insights with you. And remember, the future of digital marketing isn't something happening to you. You're creating it.
So as you go out there and conquer the digital world, we'll leave you with this. What role do you want to play in shaping the future of marketing?
What will your legacy be?
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.